name is Avinay. I hope many of you already know me, and those whom we are talking first time. I'm a software engineer, and today actually I am going to teach you start a project just on Scratch. As we all know, Scratch is a very basic language used for the kids to actually do or perform some animations and games. As you can see, we just have to go and search on our browser that Scratch. Then you will get a first link called as Scratch Image Program and Share. When you open this, you get this kind of screen, and this screen is actually your landing page where the all the start creating join this is the sign in option when actually you can log in the account so that your project should remain saved, or either you can click on a join scratch button where you just have to make your user account uh, as you do on your Instagram. That I already have, so nothing to worry. Then we have to what actually work. As you can see, it's here written here that this was to create the stories, games, and animations share with others around the world. So Scratch is actually a free playing coding language where students can make animation, story, and very interesting gameplay if they want. So first of all, what we are going to do, we go and click to this create section. After clicking to the create section, you will see one user interface, right? This user interface. Here again, some tutorials is given, right?
With Scratch,
So
you can make your own
this
stories,
kind of stories, games,
games,
or
and
animations.
animations.
If you want, you can
Let's start
continue
by
with
grabbing.
the tutorial video, but I didn't found it very useful. So let's simply discuss what is in the front of us, what is Scratch language interface, and then one by one we are going to understand the work of each, and finally we will do one project so that at least we could learn something from today's video. See, this code starts with this area where one cat is actually sitting. This area is actually it's called a stage, or in other language we call it a background, right? But background can change. But this is the only area where all the performance is going to be performed, right? It this one is called as presenter view, but if I click to this maximize icon, right, it becomes a full screen view. So when actually any user or any other person is watching your animation, he will not able to see the code. Instead of that, you will click on this green flag and the whole program runs, and then your character present here will actually perform all the actions. Then now we can see that here we can have the different name of the sprite. It means the rename option is also present there. Any name you can actually provide to your character. Then this X and Y guys, they actually represent the coordination, the X axis as well as the Y axis of the screen. That if it is 0 and 0, it means the character is present at the center of the screen. If I move this X to some extent, or if I move some Y to some extent, let's suppose in positive it will go up, or if I move it with the negative number, I'm very sure it will move downwards, right? That's the point, guys, that from plus to minus, and you can drag and drop your character also with the help of mouse. So the main thing about the X and Y axis is that this is the X axis, and this one, sorry, this one is the X axis, and top to down is the Y axis. So if you want to perform any action for any character from top to down or left to right, you have to use the axis words. Then this one is the direction, which actually tells that which way the our character will be facing. Everybody knows about 360 direction rotation. If you stay it on 90-degree, it will be very straight. And this size is obviously related to the size of the sprite, the character, right? That what size it should be visible. So this is the one part which is very important to understand, to manage, to control the names or different sprites. Different sprite means like of this, that here you have an option to upload your own sprite that you have created by your own designing, or either you can actually add up some surprises. You can paint or draw your own sprite, and then you can search for the other sprites also which are available. As you can see here, apple, banana, there can be multiple sprites that actually you can add on, right? So you can see, go to the search bar, we can have multiple sprites which are working here, right? And then for each of the separate sprites, we can write a separate set of code. We'll discuss it when we move to the next part of the screen. Here one thing which is remaining is called as backdrop, and I told you backdrop is related to the stage area, that how your background should be look like. And obviously by the time, by sending some messages, we can surely communicate with the different stages or the different backgrounds actually which are present there, as you can see, right guys? So this one is the one part, and with the second part, as you can see right here, if I click to the banana one, here banana, a light banana is visible. If I click to the cat one, the light cat is visible. It means that whichever sprite you will select, for that sprite you can write a code at this area. This area is called as a script area, where we actually write codes for each one of the sprites. If we talk about the cat one, so whatever code I will put on, whatever code I will put on here, all these codes will actually run for this cat. And as you can see in the figures, it is set up like of a tile which get attached. So when I drag and drop it, and it's a shadow visible, I can drop it, it will get attached, right? So this one is actually called, that's why this is actually called as drag and drop language also, that we can drag and drop to the different codes which are given here, right, to run around. If I do the click, you can see a 15-degree turn two times, then glide for 1 second, go to random position, then again check. So just this same code is been followed by the sprite, because I have written the same code for this, but the rest of the sprites are not moving. So it means for every sprite we have to write some kind of code. Now if I click it, you can see the sprite is moving, right? So for the apple also we have to write according to our use. Now let's see that how many code block is being given. The first block which is given is in the name of motion, right? So motion basically connected to the codes of moving, turning to any degree. You can edit this 15 to 90-degree, or this steps according to the steps you want, right? Then going to some random position, going to the specific position at the x coordinate or y coordinate, right? Sliding, change the value of the x-axis, y-axis. All these basic codes are actually related to the motion of the sprite. That's why we use all these. Now in the next section, you can see the looks, where the looks are being given by the sprite according to your message. Whatever your message will be, to say hello for a specific time, to only say hello, to print some message for 2 seconds, right? To switch the costume for the basic sprites, whatever sprite they have. What is the meaning of changing costume? I'll let you know, guys. Don't worry. Right? And the same way you can use the other options given just to communicate according to the sprites, that how do you want the animation or story to go on. Then the next part is called as the event part, where you can see that all these shapes are like of that nothing can be attached at top of it, right? It simply means that all these blocks, code blocks, are actually the threads. Now, what is thread, guys? Thread means it can be a part of the other program, right? It is a sub part of the same program which gets attached at the top of the code and which actually initiates the execution of the code. As you can see here, the one block which is being written as when green flag clicked. And I already told you, when you go to the full screen, there is no other option to run the code other than this green flag, right? So at the top of every code, the green flag clicked, or any special event or activity happening, like of the pressing of a key or a mouse, right, or some sending or broadcasting the message, that some other sprite can send a message that I have reached a specific location. Now you can start your code and all. So all these things can be done in this event block. Now we talk about the next section, that is the control block. Control block, again, guys, is as much as important as you have studied in the general introduction of the programming, where we have seen the importance of conditional statements as well as the looping statements. The same way, to make the conditional statement, if you are having only one condition, on basis of that condition you want to perform some actions, we use the if block. But if you are having a one condition based on which you want to run multiple conditions, multiple actions to be performed, then you use the if else statement. And one twist in the scratch is the if else block is not present there. So we are going to make it by our common sense, that whenever it's written if, after if we will apply one else if. Right now, see, if, else, if. Now, if I require something else, I'll apply the one more block over there, like of this, that it becomes if, else, if, and else, right? So the nested if else can be used to apply multiple conditions run for the proper codes. The next very important, the looping statement. Guys, here one twist is that we know already about for loop, while loop, and do while loop. But in the Scratch, the loop names are like this: repeat until means we do the same thing, repeat the same thing, iterate the same set of instructions until some condition is been matched, right? And the one thing is about the repeat for some specific number of time, that is called as repeat block. That similar to the for block, guys, that if you know how many times we have to run the loop, then we can simply enter the number or any mathematical equation over there, that depending upon that you have to run the loop. One special loop which actually we use in the animations and we don't use in the other programming language is the forever loop, that anything happening could be happening forever. Now you can get a doubt that how can some loop run forever. So if I ask you for a simple rule of one game, that if the life becomes zero over the game, so is that condition is going to be true forever, yes or no? Obviously, yes, right? That whenever life gets zero, the game gets over. So in that cases, we will use this forever block to make the things possible for all over the life cycle of the program. I hope you understand this block, which is very important. And the next one is the sensing block. When you have to sense something, when you have to feel the touch of the other sprites, when you have to ask any input from the user, the name, the age, the date of birth, to wish them or something. So in that case, this particular blocks are very useful, right? That can move your position of x and y also. The very one main block about which I wanted to talk today is this answer block, because whenever you ask a user that what is your name, in that case your input of the user, your answer must be saved somewhere. So in that case we use our old friend variable, right? That we set the variable's value to the user's answer. Now, if I do the checkbox, you can see the same here. Now, if I run the code, it's asking what's your name. And if I enter my name, that hello, my name is Avi. So basically that name will be stored inside this variable, right? So let's see guys if it happens or not. Is arts for what is your name? I enter my name is Avi and see the my variable holds the name Avi. It means that variable is holding a value. So that's why it's a very important one. The one the where we can set the default value to any variable, right? We can change the values of the variable, simply means the increment and decrement of the values by your own choice, right? You can show or hide the variable, as well as you can make the new variables too, because we already know that in one program we may need one or two or more than 4 5 variable. In that case we actually click here to make the new variable. You just have to make a name of a variable, click enter, and you can see that one more variable is been created, which can be used anywhere where it has been set, right? So this was the basic introductory parts of the scratch language. When again very important, the operator block is using, as you all guys know about that, to compare two values we use the comparison operator, right? To check that the number is greater or lesser or equal, we use the comparison operator, right? To assign some value we use the assignment operator. The same things have been going on. The first four blocks you can see here is about plus, minus, into, and divide. So these are the arithmetic blocks if you have to perform the the sum operation, the difference operation, the product operation, any operation over these numbers, over these variable values. So actually we can perform these operations, right? Let's see, let's discuss the operators, and then in the next part, I will deliver a one simple game project where we solve or use most of the blocks, right? So you can see any event like of key press, mouse down, asking the inputs, right? Or happening the events like of touching any color, touching any other sprite. All these kinds of operators are being used in the sensing block. And then we have the greater than, less than, equals to. These and, or, and not are the logical operators. I hope that you already know something about the logic gates and logical operator. Then it will be very easy to use them. When both the conditions are true, then the whole equation will be treated as true, right? And here in the or case, if any one of the given condition will be true, the whole equation will become true. The same goes with the join operator that actually performs the concatenation function that joins the two strings and then apply for it, right? And then for the making variable, the one more thing I wanted to add, guys, that when you click to the new variable section, here you have two options, for all sprites or for this sprite. This belongs to the concept of global variable and local variable. If you click for all sprites, then the variable you are making will work for all the sprites which are present in that particular animation or game. But if you click for this sprite only, so it will create a local variable which can be accessible and usable only within the single sprite for which you are selecting, right? So while making it also, we must take care that where to go. The next thing that you can see here is the custom. Custom is an option where actually your sprites can be designed according to you. If you are a very good programmer or something, if you want to divide these three bananas like of this, so this kind of things you can actually customize in the custom section. In the sound section, you can apply your own sound. We have a built-in sound, a lot of sounds already in the scratch, right? So if you want to make or add your own words, then also it's a very great language. The one more feature I want to explore for you is this one, where actually you can add up the extra extensions. If I add the pen, see the more codes to erase the pen, stamp the pen. So the same way there are different customaries which can actually add up the more code values or code patterns for you, using which you can create a new new application for the better animation and the small games. And for the kids, for the starting, for the beginning, it should be the best method to actually start your work. For this, very all the best. Stay tuned for our next video where we are going to make one game where the one monkey will be catching the bananas, and if he loses, his lose they will lose their lives, and then the game will be over. And for catching the banana, obviously the monkey will get the extra 10 points. So I will make you all play the game and let's see who scores the highest. If you like it, please press the like button and do the subscribe button. Don't forget to press the bell icon, because from where only the next all interesting videos will be coming to you.